Hello! How is everyone doing? I am very excited going on tour with the Young Step. It's going to do a little update. Going to talk about how beautiful this cat is. But other than that, going to talk about going on tour with the Young Step. Yes, we are going on tour August 1st through the 18th. You can check those dates specifically, what cities we're going to be at, what venues we're going to be playing, and what times on a few different places. You can go to danielcurtishughes.com and go to the upcoming shows section that will be updated through Bands in Town, which if you are a part of Bands in Town, which is actually a really cool app, it notifies you whenever bands that you are tracking. If you have an account with them, they'll let you know by email, and they have a bunch of really cool resources for bands and also just fans to be able to keep up with shows. So yeah, check that out if you're not already doing that. Bands in Town, and you can also check it at the Young Step Facebook page, and also go to their website. You can check it out on youngstep.com, all that stuff. But yeah, but that's about the tour. Also, want to talk about just the actual website, danielcurtishughes.com, which is kind of a way for me to just as a side note, sometimes I feel like over recent years I've just been funneling everything through Facebook or some type of social media thing, and sometimes it kind of drives me nuts because I'm like, I remember when I was first experiencing the internet when I was younger, and I remember just going on more websites. I used to just go on more websites, and maybe it was because they were all just kind of new and everything was kind of fresh and just things are coming out. You start to, you know, see like the evolution of what the internet is, and then now I feel like it's all kind of evolved into like everything's just on Facebook, so it's just kind of drive me a little nuts. So I was thinking, okay, cool, I'll make my own website. It'll be an opportunity for me to update it and put whatever information I want on it and make it look how I want. Kind of like how MySpace initially kind of had that idea. You can do your own HTML, and initially that's why Facebook or MySpace isn't around anymore, because it was kind of becoming too easy to be able to kind of free host your own website, and yeah, companies who have a lot of money don't want to do that. So yeah, and I think, what was it, NBC bought MySpace or something like that. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but besides the point. Yeah, everything is going to be updated on my website mostly. I have tour sections and just all the projects that I'm working on, music wise and art wise, and I think it's awesome. We're in a time now to where you can essentially make your way into being somewhat of an entrepreneur in multiple different ways, and in your own right. I know everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, and it's like, well, people are going to test you, like, well, what have you been working on, so in a sense I feel like I'm being an entrepreneur in a way of music. So I think a website is very important, and kind of, deal with shamelessly promoting yourself. It feels kind of weird sometimes when you're like, I don't want to build up my ego anymore than it already kind of has to be sometimes, being a musician, but it's what you have to deal with it. Speaking of music, Constant Swimmer is something I've been focusing on a lot these past couple of years, and I've been trying to get better at playing live shows, which is sometimes a task because I usually play by myself, and so it's been a process, a learning process. But at the same time, I still love producing and writing music, and it's something that I want to share with the world. I love playing drums. I love playing piano, and it's something that has been resonating with my soul in a way that I can get out in music what I'm feeling in my heart, and sometimes it's really hard for me to get it out in words. So I think my music, personally for me, is the best way to get to know me and how I'm feeling at a specific time. So with that being said, I'm going to be releasing an album that is going to be called A Momentary Lapse, and it is going to be an EP. I would say it's an EP, depending on how many tracks I'm writing. I'm about 9 tracks in. I think I'm going to write about 20 tracks. And that's always, setting a limit is kind of a weird thing because then you don't meet it, you might get discouraged. But who knows? I might write 25 tracks, so we'll see. And then pick the best ones. And so far, I think with what I have now, it fits a theme. It fits key signatures that are fitting into each other. It kind of fits almost a story. So I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to go with it story-wise, but it all depends on who is going to be collaborating with me, because I think for this project for sure I'm going to have maybe one or two tracks that are going to have a guest vocalist or two, which it'll be a surprise, and I think I might just reveal who it is whenever it's released. But the album is going to be released for sure, dead ass serious, on Christmas. So I think that's a really cool date to be able to release an album, and marketing wise, I think that's a really good idea. Yeah, most albums sell pretty good on Christmas, so who knows? I might have a bonus Christmas track on there. But yeah, so that's an update for Constant Swimmer. There's also something that I've been working on just this past year, and since I moved into a new place, I started doing some podcasts. So I've always wanted to do a podcast. I've been listening to podcasts for, I guess, I would only say maybe just for the past 7 or 8 years, because I started to listen to Joe Rogan's podcast. Was actually the first podcast I started to listen to about, I think it was like 2009 or 2010. I started to kind of get tuned into that frequency, and so since then I've been thinking, well, I want to get better at talking with people. I want to get better at having conversations with people. I want to, get better at not interrupting people, listening more. So podcasting in a way to where it's like a sigil. You're creating a space to where a conversation is. That's the point of why you're getting together, is to have a good conversation. So it's really cool catalyst to capture moments, in real time. With technology holding up with you, of course, to be able to just get some real gems, and just get, just the real essence of like just having a conversation with someone. It's really cool to be able to, review that back too, because geez, nowadays, like, we're all forgetting everything like crazy. I mean, just the other day I was explaining to my friend, like, man, sometimes I'd drive out of my driveway, like, oh, I forgot something. Go back into the house. What did I come in here for? I know you guys are experiencing the same thing. Yeah, so I'm trying to get better at that for sure, because that wears on you. Brain tinctures usually work. My podcast, which is called The Concrescence Podcast, I have 4 episodes up so far. They're just hosting on my website. I just have them as audio files. They're prepped to be iTunes ready. So I have to figure out, got to get my RSS feed links squared away so I can get it uploaded on iTunes, and you guys will be able to subscribe to it and give me some comments and stuff like that. So that's in the process. Along with that, I'm going to be releasing a few new episodes. I was at a point to where I was releasing an episode, like I had 1 episode a month up until about May. So I missed April, and I might not miss this month because it's the 24th, so I might get an episode in before the month ends. We'll see. So, yeah, so that's just a quick update about the podcast. And there's just one extra thing that I'm going to mention. I'm going to be creating a Patreon page for people who who want to follow me and support me in a way that is unique. It's interesting. Something that's, could be $4 or $5 a month, and you get access to all my music, different videos, different special packages, personal gifts that can be mailed to you. I mean, it's just endless in the possibilities of like what you can get for $4 or $5 or something like that as a subscription. And it's kind of a way that I already have a drive to create, but I think when you see people that are like, oh, I really like your stuff, and then you see that they're willing to give you, their hard-earned cash for it, that alone, like, kind of almost, it lights a fire under me and gets me even more excited to like, oh man, I want to provide like really good content for people to be able to enjoy for free, and if they want to pay for it, either way. So I think that's what I'm wanting to get into now. I see a lot of people doing it with success, and you know, your heart's in the right place, and you know, you're wanting to just have things for people to enjoy. Then I think that's something I'm wanting to get into. So soon you'll be seeing a link and a video of explaining, you know, what my Patreon page would, you know, be all about, and what you get, and what being a subscriber, you know, entails. So thank you for watching this video, if you watched it, and have a fantastic day. Peace.